focused on the fire. So once again, thank you for being here, and we're doing our best.
Okay. There's an extremely large and well-trained and skilled and experienced organization that's managing the response to this emergency, and we're fortunate to have with us today the Assistant or Deputy Incident Commander, Mike Dewitt.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the good turnout that we've got here today. I'm gonna, as you can tell, I'm not local. I'm from a little bit away. But we're from all over the southeast. We're a Type 1 incident management team that's been brought in to assist with this incident. The Sierra team that was over the fire the first few days are still part of our organization, and we're utilizing as many local resources as we can so that the people that know the areas can help us out and find those little hideaways that can help us get this thing pinched down in a lot of the places. So what I want to do first is just take you through basically our operational briefing so that you know where the fire is at, and I'll try to trim out as many of the tech terms and abbreviations and acronyms as I can as I go through this, so it'll be as plain text as I can get it. So we'll start off on the southwest side of the fire, and that's close to where the point of origin was. And we've been working very hard down around the Pine Mountain Lake area, and very good success down in there the last few days. And we've got the 90% of that line on the south side of the river there is burned out and looking really good. So we're feeling good about that, and we'll work our way around to the part I know you're most concerned about. Down south of Highway 120. We've got some good cold line in that part too, and basically this part of the fire we've got in a patrol and mop up status. So we still got resources out there dealing with hot spots, but it's in a lot better shape. We're not having to build line in those areas. Coming on around the very southern tip of the fire, there's been a lot of fires in this part of the forest over the past several years, and we're utilizing some of those dozer lines that were constructed on past fires and having pretty good success and getting this worked back around so we can get it tied back into Highway 120, and that's a main focus that we're trying to get that piece buttoned up so we can get that road snagged and hazard trees and the guardrails put back up so that we can get that road back open. Coming on up, the most active part of the fire was in the southeast corner yesterday. The biggest, tallest column of smoke that was coming up was from over there, and it made a pretty large push into the national park yesterday. So we've gotten with the park folks and identified another old fire scar, and we're going to open up some of those lines. It's going to take a bigger chunk of Yosemite, but area that we feel pretty confident that we can get that button back up and get it tied back up into some natural features, some of the granite rocks and bare areas that are up above Hesh-Heshy Reservoir and working on around the fire. And this map doesn't carry it far enough north to get on around, but there's a large area between Lake Eleanor and Cherry Lake, the stuff over there right by the national park, from there back over to 108. And as you know, or a lot of you may know, those ridges in there run from northeast to southwest. So we're this way across the map. So there's not a lot of opportunities for something that's cutting east and west, and we try to keep our fire lines as straight in the right direction as we can. So we're looking at opportunities in here, and we're looking where we're going to be for our primary line, and we're also looking at where we're going to be 2, 3, 4 days from now, so that if our primary line doesn't hold, we're working on things that are what we call contingencies, and so that we'll have a backup plan if we need something down the road. And then working that piece all the way back over to 108, so back around to Miwok, and then coming back down to Twain Harte, and back here into town. So we're trying to keep the fire, our primary line is to keep everything east of the North Fork. And so we've been working on some line over around Duckwall and the dozers have been working back down in towards Murphy's Ranch and Paper Cabin Ridge and getting it tied back into the drainage there. And that's been pretty successful to this point, but again, that fire is getting close to it, so we're working on our contingency lines that are out here closer to town, and we've had a lot of equipment working in here. You've seen a lot of activity. We've got about 1,400 people that's here in town right now, and all of those are associated with the activities in this part of the fire. So we're going to continue those lines, and those will continue. The contingency lines will be just to the east of Highway 108, running north and east, and we're still going to try to utilize that line, Paper Cabin, and back around to Duckwall Mountain as a primary, and then we got Cottonwood Road. You know, we're just keeping, we don't step back till we have to, but the fire activity that we've been seeing on this thing, as you can imagine, with the smoke columns that have been produced every day, we've been getting 100 to 200 foot flame lengths on a daily basis out there, and you know, when the flame lengths get so high that we can't keep our firefighters in there and maintain their safety, we have to extract them to make sure that we can account for everybody. So we're doing as much as we can after dark, after things settle down, and we're doing a lot till the inversion breaks and we start getting those columns start building and having influence on the weather. Just from a weather standpoint, we've had very unstable conditions, so that's why those smoke columns are getting very tall. Whenever that column gets tall, it starts creating its own weather, starts creating in drafts, just like a thunderstorm would. And the fortunate thing, if there is a fortunate thing, the atmosphere has been so tall that we haven't had it hit the lid for the atmosphere and have that build up so much heat, and then it collapses, and we get erratic, you know, just all kind of wind directions and strong winds like you do out of a thunderstorm. So we haven't had that, but we do have extremely dry fuels out there. We're running fuel moistures in the 6% range on trees, dead trees this big. And the live fuel moistures in the brush that's out there is 60% of normal, so it's extremely low. Everything that's out there is available fuel. So as soon as we get sunlight on the slopes, it starts burning very aggressively, and we just have to take those precautions to keep our firefighters safe. So that's in general a rundown of what we're facing out there. Steep, rugged terrain, as most of you know. It's you know, some very nasty country, but we're trying to take as much local input as we can and open up these old fire scars that we've had through the years on this forest to be able to get this thing cut down. And the columns didn't come up quite as early today as they did yesterday. By 12:30 we had some of those caps on top, and it was a little bit later this morning. And as we get more of the south end of it buttoned up, that should alleviate some of the smoke issues that we've been having. I know the last 2 mornings it was extremely thick down here for a long time, and so we're working to try to clean the air up a little bit down here for you. And so I think I'll just leave it at that for now, and then we'll address any questions that you may have as we wind up. Thank you.